I'm just here to do a little pop in, check in reading for those who are needing this reading. I don't know. I was kind of working on some work today and I'm getting ready to get ready for my midterms. And so I immediately got a ball of emotion. A ball of emotion came over me. And so I was like, okay, where does this emotion come from? A lot of times when when you're like an empath, you can kind of feel like the weight of the world, or you can feel others' emotions. And so sometimes you'll end up, especially if you're very close to someone who tends to suppress their emotions, and you're very close to them and you're very tied into them. You probably, and if you're more emotional, you will probably be the one to actually be the crier versus the other person. So the messages that I am getting is the road less traveled. All right. So I do believe that many of you are in limbo. Many of you are in a situation. When I say limbo, it does not mean you're a hangman. I mean, technically it does, but we learn a lot in hangman, right? Hangman doesn't last forever. Sometimes hangman can get you stuck there, especially if you're like a Taurus, right? Like that is y'all card. You guys rule the hangman. So I feel like as somebody is left hanging, or if that's not the case, I feel like maybe possibly you're needing to leave a situation as is, just whatever it's going to be. This road is less travel, right? During this road, people don't really tell you, but you're going to lose friends, you're going to lose family, you're going to lose jobs. You're going to lose a whole old way of thinking, right? Your whole perspective has and will change. If it hasn't, then you're not on the right road. You're not on the right path. So I feel like many of you, especially if you've been kind of rocking with me for a while, many of you are going through your journey. Okay, you should definitely be on your journey. As you know, Thanksgiving is coming up on Thursday. All right, so that is in 2 days. So I feel like many of you are feeling the emotions of your loved ones. So if you find yourselves extremely sad out of nowhere, you just kind of get these like sad spells, and then you're kind of like, then you're back good because you're like, why am I tripping? It's like, what is this all about, right? And so what happens is, usually these loved ones are trying to reach out to you. They're trying to talk to you. They're trying to speak to you. And the same way that you feel about them is the same way that they feel about you, right? So as we already know, nothing ever dies. Energy only just transform, correct? We've already learned that, right? So here we are, we all gathering around. And I noticed that in cultural community, I'm realizing that, they teach you the dead is closed, eyes shut, and you don't hear them, you don't speak to them. That is not true. It is not true. Okay? That is not true. The truth of the matter is because your thoughts are not your thoughts a lot of times. Your purpose, or your past, or your purpose, or your life purpose, your divine order to be on this earth does not come from you, right? That comes from an ancestor. It comes from a divine lineage. And so I feel like many of you are understanding that you're looking around. The more you awaken, correct, the more you're looking around and you realize, I'm like, damn, I mean, I do look and favor these people through the flesh, but I know deep down in my heart, this ain't my soul fam. This ain't really my family. Like, where do I really come from? So what I mean by that is, let's go ahead and get started, like with my situation. So I'm Miracle Baby 777, home of the what? Motherfucking intuitives. And the reason why I am home Miracle Baby 777 is because my mom, she had got pregnant, right? Prior to her getting pregnant, she had her tubes tied, burnt, and clipped, correct? And so she goes to the doctor out of nowhere. And she's like, I've been having some stomach aches. And my mom is older. Like at this time, she's like 37. She's 35, 37. So she's older. My dad is like 10 years older than my mom. So, they were done having children. They had a little common baby, which is my brother. They had them, and they came together with their own outside children. And then they ended up making me and my brother. Well, I wasn't supposed to be here. So my mom had a tube tie burnt and clip that she had. My brother thought it was over. Well, God was like, this one right here, including who? Me. Yes, me. Right? This one gotta come through. What do you mean I'm pregnant? What do you mean I had my tubes tied, burnt, and clipped, right? They're like, no, actually you're pregnant and you're actually, I think 13 weeks. Like my mom was very far. She was like 3 months pregnant. So she was really confused. Imagine going back home and you talking about some, yeah, I'm pregnant. What? Not we just paid for a procedure, right? So here I am. So anyway, but let's get to the meat of it. So you gotta think, my parents were older. They didn't have any dealings with a little newborn baby, right? It's not that they didn't have any dealings. It's just, you thought you clipped it, right? And so it's a solar eclipse on that ass. It's a lunar eclipse, okay? So it came through, and so. But on the day that my mom just was getting ready to give birth, I was supposed to be born on October 31st. I was supposed to be a Halloween baby, can't you tell? But instead I ended up being born on October 24th. And it's the reason why I was born on October 24th, because it was something in regards to my birth chart. Now, growing up, I never physically, well, apparently I did see my grandmother, right? So this is my mom's dad. This is my dad's mom. My mom and my grandmother, my dad's mom, had the same birthday. They were July 31st, so they were Leos. I came in this world by Leos. I don't know why, but I've been in the lion's den all my life. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here, but I'm in the lion's den. I always have been, always will be, I guess. All right, and so then, so my mom, so she comes through, boom. She, she's getting ready to have this baby, and they said my mom was very mean when she was pregnant. My mom couldn't understand why she was mean, but my mom said she was in a lot of pain. She was hurting a lot during the pregnancy, and they just thought because, they would tell her like, oh, it's because you're older, you waited too late to have children. I'm like, what you mean? Like, I had my first baby at 19, now this is, okay, so then this is what happens. So then after that, right? I'm getting emotional. So after that, okay, I ended up being, my mom was pregnant, and so it's time to have me, right? So I tried to come at 6 months, so they gave her this medicine that will slow down her contractions, and so she had to go on bed rest at like 6 months. So mom couldn't work, she couldn't do anything. She had to be in the bed because I was trying to come like 6 months early, which was already a hazard because first off, they don't even know what the fuck this baby came from. Where did it came from? They said, man, we don't know what happened. It was so bad that the person who delivered me, my mom's OBGYN gynecologist, who was delivering me at the time, this man knew he messed up, right? He messed up so bad, but he promised my mom that, I'll pay for, my mama didn't have to pay for anything. She didn't have to pay for anything. As long as I was living, as long as I was on this earth, until I was 21, I never had an insurance card. I never had I think I had insurance or whatever, because I think at the 18, something happened with my dad. My dad was a Marine, so I ended up getting a GI Bill, and I don't know if this all like tied into each other, but my benefits did stop. But it's crazy because this man promised her, he was like, I'm gonna take care of you. Cause my mama was on that ad. My mama was a Leo, so she was a fighter. She was with the shit. So but what was so bad was my mom was so forgiving, because she was like, damn, this really was a situation that kind of came out of nowhere. You had your tubes tied, burnt, and clipped, and you got pregnant with me, so I'm here, right? So he took good care of my mom. The doctor took good care of her. So that's why when I run out, and I noticed that the older I'm getting, I'm running into women who are struggling with having children, or they're struggling with having kids, or they're struggling with having or wanting to produce, or I meet a lot of women that say, well, I can't have kids. And I'm just like, do you not know, like, the reason why I'm here is because I'm getting ready to tell you, like, my mom, they had me, and they can't see. So So here we go. My mom's getting ready to have me, right? And so in the, everything is glitters and glam. My dad is there. Everybody's there. My grandma's there. Everybody is there. My mom's getting ready to have me. And as soon as she starts to pushing, there's this big sonogram that comes, and it's just like this white space, this white cloud space. And so they stopped her. And that's what's crazy is, as I was coming out, my dad, as they was getting ready to push, my dad ended up getting a nosebleed, and my dad passed out. So they looking like, so my mama looking like, damn, now my husband, he done passed out on the ground. I'm just really in this by myself. Yeah. So that's when the doctor came in and was like, one of y'all are not going to make it. This is a very high risk pregnancy, and it's looking like neither one of y'all will make it, either you or the baby. My mama said, no, I'm gonna make it. So my granny, my mom's mom, and my papa, they came up that road. So it was crazy. Another thing too, in my family, there was these other 2 sets of twins that was born too. We were all born on the same day. So half of my family had to go be with the twins. Half of my family had to come be with me. I was born first, but I do have 2 twin cousins that are the same age as me, and we all are triplets. Okay, so yes, I'm a triplet, technically. Wow. All right, so anyway, so I keep going, right? And so they're like, push, but hold on. Wow, you got cancer. So me and my mom made it, okay? So as she was pushing out me, there was a mass of cancer growing. And so my mom had to immediately go to be in Chapel Hill. I'm from North Carolina. So Durham, Chapel Hill is where, it's a very big capital for cancer patients. I'm sure if you dealt with cancers, people automatically get referred to Duke, or they get referred to, Chapel Hill for their procedures. So damn, I was born, and then I was like left to like figure out life. I was a newborn baby. I was born, and I did not have my parents at birth. My dad was there, but my mom and my dad were like, they just was this. They were soulmates, like, or they were just that. And my dad was just gonna be with his girl, with his wife, right? And so my granny came down. She was like, well, I had to take care of her. So my granny, she nourished me. She talked to me. But then it's crazy because even though I just turned 30, right? I just had my solar return this month in October. I'm a Scorpio, as you can see. Chain on me, okay? All right. But I just remember, like, my grandma, I remember her like doing my hair like this. I remember her talking to me, and she said, you different. And I just remember. And so anyway, I grow up, right? And so then my life gets changed because I was immediately born with imaginary friends. Like, I knew them. Like, I was born seeing people, and I would be like, yo, did y'all see and they'd be like, they'd be like, no. And I would just sit there, and I'm like, what do you mean, right? Like, they're like, yes. I'm like, you don't see this person right there? Like, but see, what's sad about that is that my family was very gifted, right? I don't know which side was gifted, but somebody in this mud was gifted. They had I come from a very magical power. I come from a very magical family. First off, if you have psychic abilities, if you are even on this realm, you didn't come in here by yourself. But what was crazy it's just that, like, I always felt apart. I always felt different. I always felt away. Right. And so, but I remember being a child, right? And so my daddy would never leave my side. I would tell my daddy, like, Dad, did you see this person over here? And I had so let me tell y'all this true story. I had an imaginary friend named Uncle Walt. Woo! Uncle Walt was my dog. Do you hear me? Uncle Walt was with me from birth till I was like 9 years old. When I started going to like school, and my life started changing, Uncle Walt had kind of started to drift away. My dad was a painter on his side. He was he owns, I mean, he wasn't an owner. He was a supervisor of like a plant or something, like a warehouse. It was called Kobe Copper off of Madison, North Carolina, out there in them sticks, right? And so my dad, like every day he would come home from work, I would sit up at 3:30. I would get up every day at, he was like, you get up at every day at 3:33 every morning. And I would make sure my mama made us pork chops, right? I just love pork chops, some bread and some hot sauce. Now, of course, I don't eat pork no more, but that was the thing. And so my dad never shunned me. My dad actually would ask me questions. He would always say, well, my parents never shut me up. They never shut me up. They never told me I was crazy. They never did none of that to me. I actually had one of the, my parents are deceased now. I think that was hard. That was hard for me to say, right? Because, fuck it, I'm a star. I'm a crowd camera. Like, it is what it is. So I had, but my dad was like my best friend. Like, my daddy was so everything to me. He taught me life. He taught me how to protect myself. He taught me how to kill. He taught me how to, you know, he just taught me how to be beautiful. He taught me about money. He taught me everything. My mom, she worked very hard. So it's not that my mom didn't teach me things. My mom was a nurse. She worked. When she was CNA and things, she became a nurse. I'm not sure. Okay. So she was my dad was a Marine, so he was home, but he was home with PTSD. So he would like, my dad wouldn't trip, but like he would just tell me his stories about everything. And then he would teach me about my grandma. And one day my niece had got burned real bad. And so she didn't, my niece, she accidentally put her hand on a hot iron. And so, her arm accidentally, like she was just walking me, a little baby. She was 3. And she accidentally burned her arm. And so it peeled the skin off of it. And my daddy would tell me how my grandma could talk the fire out your arm. And I'm like, what do you mean she could talk the fire at your arm? And he was like, yeah, like she could talk the womb away. And so I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, give me your hand. And I'm like, okay. Like, I was never scared of magic. Like I was born knowing what magic was. So I was like, okay. And so he gave me his arm, and I put my arm out like that. And then he would do this. He did something, and make a long story short, the burn was gone. My niece does not have no reference of this burn. My niece is 16 years old now, and I've been asking her, like, do you remember when you got burned? She was like, mm-mm. I'm like, what? Okay, because it was such a big thing, right? It was like such a big deal. Moving forward, so I had my parents for 20 years, and then they ended up passing away. My mom passed away again. The cancer, a different form of cancer came, and it was brain cancer. And, it took her out of here. But see, my dad was with her. And I had to learn a lot about my dad. I had to learn a lot of things were like secret, right? I don't know why my family kept a lot of things away from me. I'm not sure why, because I ended up figuring out. But, anywho, so I was just born knowing, like, I would work jobs. I would go to school. I could not handle authority. I could not work for certain jobs because like I would enjoy myself, right? Like, but I only enjoy the people. Like I only love meeting new people. Like I just like being with people. So one day I got this job in North Carolina, A&T State, Varsity, Aggie Pride, right? And I had a job, and I'll never forget this, but I know one day what's her name? Damn. Dang, it's crazy, but come to find out, she had the same exact birthday as my mother and my grandma. I go into work one day, and I meet this lady, Miss Sharon, right? Oh, God, I love Miss Sharon. And we ended up being a mutual. My cousin ended up living with us. I didn't even know this was the Miss Sharon that was coming around my family events or nothing. So I'm like, this Miss Sharon. Okay, so I meet her, right? And so I ended up going to the bathroom one day, and I walked past this lady. The lady is Miss Sharon's, like, ace boom. So I walked past her desk. We had cubicles and offices. So I walked past hers, and I said, hey. And I was just talking to her, and something said, sit down and talk to her. So I always was able to hear, the movie Sixth Sense? Like, the movie never scared me because I'm like, is this not what we supposed to see? I had to realize, like, damn, girl, you different. So I'm sitting out here, boom, and the lady sits. I'm sitting at her desk. Like, mind you, I only know this lady because of Miss Sharon. So we really don't have that much of a connection. But at this time, I'm like, all right, what's up? So we talking, we chopping up. I found out she had the same birthday as mom. I'm like, damn. I mean, this is all within like 10 minutes, okay? Something said, look out the window, because I connect with animals, like animals, birds, bees, whatever you want. Like, they all talk to me, period. A plant can talk to me, a tree talks to me. So that's why I be like, yeah, I don't really get messages from tarot. Like, that's not my, I mean, the tarot is more so like y'all phone for y'all, but not for me, because I'm born knowing. Like, I hear them feeling these people all day. I could tell you chopping it up right here, right beside me. They sit here whispering because I was getting ready to chop out, but tap out of it, but I didn't. Make a long story short, so I sit down, I'm looking, and she was like, yeah, my mom is real sick. Now, mind you, I experienced my mom's passing at 19 years old, 20 years old, so I know what death look like. I've seen it before. I can even smell it. I have dreams about it. That's another thing, too. I dream when somebody's getting ready to die. I just don't, sometimes I don't say anything because I'm just like, I realized when the more I kept awakening, the more I kept saying something, I was in a damn box by myself. I ain't had no friends. I ain't had no family. I ain't had nothing. I'm like, oh, shit, right? This is before I knew my purpose. This is before I knew who I was. So I'm at the thing. She's like, my mom, she's very sick. And I said, something just came over me, and I said, I'm going to say it. I said, your mom is transitioning. You might want to clock out. I think you need to go be with your mom, like right now. The moment I said that, she said, well, what make you say that? I said, I don't know. As soon as I said that, her phone rang. Hello? It was dead silence. I knew right then and there her mom passed. She looked at me. This scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what to do. I went home. I had to go to lunch. I was like, I can't be here no more, because it scared me so bad. She started shaking. She said, they just told me my mama died. And I said, I've never had this encounter before. I've never did this before. So it scared me. My life changed from that day, moving forward. After that, the pandemic hit. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I had got real connected with this dude named Brandon Coggins. Brandon, if you ever see this reading, if you ever come across my videos, I love you. You shitted on me, though. You started talking shit about me. Okay, they said Scorpio in me. I just can't forget, but I love you, Brandon, for this. So Brandon was taking me back and forth to work until I got my car. Mind you, I had just started a cleaning business. I was cleaning houses for these white people, but it was rich ass houses. So as I was in there though, I was learning about finance. I was learning about a lot of stuff, and I ended up buying this car from this lady. All right, and she taught me a lot. I'm not gonna lie, she taught me so much. And so I don't even know her name. Damn. Anyway, I'll be forgetting people's names because it's just like I move so fast. I'm in two to three different worlds. Like I walk in between worlds. So anyway, Kobe died. So the day that we was at the day I was at work, Kobe died, and for some reason, I seen Kobe. Like I never forget. We were standing in my kitchen, and I was like, Brandon. I was like, I know I sound crazy, mind you. I had just got my. I'm gonna go back. So hold on. At Auntie, right? I met Michelle Austin that worked the financial aid department at North Carolina A&T. I give this woman nothing. Anything this woman ever needs, it's hers. I give her everything. Chandelier too. I walked in her office one day and I sat down. She didn't know me from a can of paint. I sat in her office and I just started crying. She said, what's wrong with you? I mean, I was going through the worst thing. I had just had a baby. The guy that I had the baby by, he left me. You know what I'm saying? Left me hanging real bad. Family shitted on me, and I knew these people like a long time, like kind of like all my life. And these people shitted on me, knowing I didn't really have anybody. And I really love these people so much. And to see that they was fake as hell towards me, and to see that they were betraying me so bad at the time. They laughed at me, they called me crazy, they spread lies and rumors about me, and either way it go, like, look at me now, right? Now they all gonna fucking bow to my feet, and they all gonna kiss my motherfucking ass too when I finish with this shit. But let's move on. All right, so anyway, I was telling Brandon, I have got my, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. So Michelle referred me to, she was like, I think you need to go to a spiritual shop. I'm like, what's that? I didn't even know what being spiritual was. I did not know what crystals was. I didn't know about no tarot cards. I didn't know about no sage. I didn't know about none of that. Nothing. Pentos, whatever, oracle, dragon blood, whatever. I ain't know nothing about it. She was like, I want you to go to, she said, I want you to go to this place on Friday when you get paid. That was at 555 when I just said that. And I know y'all hear them alarms. You know, those are omens, right? Before I even knew what omens was. Like, this was my vision of life was magical, no matter what. Like, it's... Even the people that introduced me to spiritual, even the people that introduced me to anything, none of them niggas is seeing me. Ain't nobody seeing the shit that I see. And I had to realize that. But I give nothing but glory and honor and praise to each and every person that came across my journey. Because I learned so much. And I learned myself. I was so lost. I was a Five of Pentacles. I was dormant status. Okay? No, nothing. I had no resources. I knew nothing. All right? So I ended up going. I told her, she said, you promise you're gonna do it? I was like, yeah. I kept my word. So I went, I got tarot decks, oracle, and I ended up getting a reading. And in the reading, the lady was like, you got a big ass fortune. But the lady didn't tell me that I was a tarot. She didn't tell me that I was psychic. And maybe that's something she couldn't tell me. Oh, EBN shop on State Street in Greensboro, North Carolina. I walked in there. Tavane walked up to me. She said, what's wrong? I said, I need to cut cords, man. I said, I'm attached to things. I don't want this man in my life no more. I don't want to be with him. I don't want nothing bad to happen to him, right? Like, I'm not into no black magic. I ain't into doing that. I just want to be detached from, like, I don't want to be a part. I don't want to be a part of it. I just didn't want to be a part no more. So Tavane helped me. Man, from that day on, it's crazy that the pandemic hit, right? Because as soon as that happened, I had just got my first tarot deck. This was my ever first tarot deck, y'all. My very first tarot deck was this one. All right, my very first oracle deck that I ever got. Because before I even got tarot, I wasn't even into that tarot shit. Because it was no point. The things that tarot just made it make sense, right? Like, tarot just made it make sense. This was my very first deck I ever got. When I tell you I was going ham in this deck, like, this deck showed me the other side of the world. It showed me who I was, showed me who I was from. So then I started having visions of initiations. And so that's something we'll talk about on another day. I just want to, get y'all through this story. So I was with Brandon. I was telling Brandon about it. And Brandon was like, well, go ahead and do a reading. He was like, I used to fuck with this girl that did reading the tarot. And I'm like, for real, what is that? I didn't even know what tarot was. Like, I didn't know, what it was at all. And I was in there and I was like, Brandon, I was like, tell me why I'm physically seeing, Kobe and Gigi's, death. Not even just Kobe and Gigi. I was seeing everybody on that plane. I could tell you what the plane looked like. I could tell you that it was leather on the inside. I'm talking about copper leather. It was like brown leather. It was beautiful. It was a helicopter or something. And it showed me them going down. It showed me everything. It showed me so bad that I lost my mind. And I couldn't stop. And Brandon was like, Jocelyn, I said, Brandon, I cannot make this up. But the shit that I'm seeing about Kobe is like crazy. So anyway, make a long story short, right? Skip forward, here I am. Now, this road is less traveled, right? Because People, you got to have a certain lineage, you got to have a certain blood type, and you have to have a certain DNA to be able to. That's why all these like tarot readers and stuff, they're gonna all like eventually the ones that are not meant to go to be. Some people are really just tarot readers. Some people are really walking the magical life. Like some people are really born this way, and then there's a lot of people that's just tarot readers. And there's no disrespect and there's no shade, right? However, I was like, damn, like just like I sat on this phone, I sat on this reading for 30 minutes and I have not given y'all no tarot yet. It's because like this is who I am. I've always had these dreams. I would sit around, and you know what's crazy? Your friends still shit on you. These so-called people that's supposed to be on, they still laugh at you. Man, I went through people laughing at me. I went through people humiliating me. I went through people even telling me how crazy I was and this and that. Man, when I tell you Queen Marie came and saved my life, first off, God saved me, number one, because I was just, whew. But then I had to come get saved, right? And so I started leveling up and I started realizing shit. And I was like, oh, damn. Oh, y'all don't get it. You're right, Jocelyn. You're not of this world. Many of you are not of this world. So what I will say is that never fold. Stand 10 toes down. You're probably going to be in this life and this journey by yourself, right? That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I don't know, but I just need to get that message out. It was something about me that I need to get out. So, yeah, I was born on, right? Now, is this glitters and glam? Hell no, it's not. Are you lonely? No. You ain't really lonely because you got people you're talking to, right? Nah, you ain't lonely, but does the road in the physical become scary? I wouldn't say it's scary. I would say it's sacred. It's a secret society. I'm meeting people all over the world. In the physical, in the social media, y'all think the numbers is supposed. And I think the real bosses, because I'm hearing like, you got it. Yeah. The real ones know that that's not it. Justice, karmic justice. You deserve that. You will have that. I'm an earth angel. I saved probably about 4 or 5 lives in my whole life. I've saved 5 lives. I just saved one yesterday too. All heroes don't wear capes. And I ain't about to tell everybody about it because it's not between me and God. I'm so grateful. I have so much gratitude. I mean, people even will ask you, I don't know what God you believe in, people, and that's another thing, people will do you dirty. People will manipulate you. People will drag you. People will do the most utmost disrespectful shit to you and then throw God in there to manipulate you, cause confusions, but it don't work. See, they also give you low vibrational sex, give you things, do this, do that for you, just to shit on you. It's over. Time's up, and the game is no longer being played. You steal from me, you fucked up for the rest of your life. I don't know why you did that. I don't know why you did that. Not to an innocent soul. Not to my yacht. Not to the one that has a heart as light as a feather. My heart ain't always been light. The things that happened to me in my past, I used to walk around and be like, nah, but now that I got my purpose, now I'm on my life purpose and I figure out who I was, I'm like, oh yeah, that ain't nothing. I'm like, man, thank you. I'm sitting here calling exes like, thank you, man. Y'all have no idea. But okay, your perspective changed. We're at the top floor now, baby. We made it. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. And I hope you come back to this reading And I hope you remember everything I said. Now before, of course, I'm not going to let y'all go without giving y'all a card, right? Because it's like, girl, where's tarot at? Not for you, bitch. Okay? Moving on. Any messages for the collective that had came across this reading to learn? Thank you for taking time out y'all day to come and figure me out and understand that you are not in this world by yourself. I do it for the home and intuitives. I do it for the orphans. I do it for the ones that are not of this world. Okay? You got beautiful children. You have beautiful families, right? But you also understand that you come from a different... I see y'all in your dreams, bitch. I love y'all so much. Messages. Fearless. And surrender. Surrender to it. Surrender to your calling. Just surrender. Give it away. Be fearless and don't be scared. And don't fold. A polar bear is going to assist you right now. That is going to be your spirit guide. All right. As above. So you ain't going to see it just yet. Just surrender to it. So that it can come so below. Home and intuitives, you could have been anywhere in the world, right? But you decided to be here with me, and because of that, it is peace and blessings to you.